Okay, good morning, everybody. It is Sunday morning, the 4th here, but this will be posted for week 14, um, coming up April 5th, starting April 5th. We are down to um, one major assignment and one very minor assignment left in the course. Um, the major assignment being the final portfolio project, which is really just a big blockchain paper. So this week's topic, I just want you all to get thinking about blockchain limitations. I read all of your points before about whether you think it's a fad or it's a substantive technology. Time will tell. There's certainly the value of Bitcoin should not be confused, or even the acceptance of Bitcoin. I don't believe should be used by anyone as a measure of blockchain's overall, applicability benefits or not. So anyway, I look forward to seeing your paper. So I just want to get you thinking about limitations. Um, uh, I won't cover these exhaustively. This is just going to be a part of your paper, your final portfolio paper. And I wanted to talk about the next 2 weeks because we don't have anything due. So anyway, limitations. Just an overview of limitations. Um, as we all know, uh, particularly the the Bitcoin, as far as the number of transactions and the energy it takes. Uh, read somewhere it was using as much as a small country, their entire electrical uh, grid to process blockchain. So that in and of itself, um, not exactly a promising aspect as we're trying to reduce overall electrical consumption in devices um, because of the obvious reasons. Most worldwide, most energy, electrical energy, is generated with fossil fuels still. So the more fossil fuels you burn to generate that electricity, the more greenhouse gases you throw into the atmosphere, the more you deplete non-renewable energy up to this point. So that's a pretty straightforward limitation, but it's also a limitation inherent in certain applications of blockchain um, and certain approaches to it and everything, especially with this mining and whatnot. Like I said, there are many limitations of blockchain. Hopefully, you'll go out to Google Scholar and pull some reputable journal articles that address limitations. But also, it's all over YouTube and the blogosphere and different websites that discuss blockchain. So um, use those as sources to inform you, but then you got to use journal articles to substantiate your case. So so that yeah, that's if um, it's just ironic that this competition, this Bitcoin competition for mining, everybody trying to beat each other out, has just created. And that to me, that's the most of these limitations that you read about are focused on the limitations inherent with the Bitcoin implementation of that particular blockchain methodology, um, which doesn't apply if we were to use this distributed ledger from say get rid of the distributed angle and go with, say if one person owned a blockchain and it was used to control changes to your medical record, say, and um, we wouldn't have this. There wouldn't be coins we would be mining. You know what I mean? It'd be more centralized, so you'd overcome that limitation. So anyway, these limitations can be overcome. So if it's a limitation inherent to a particular implementation of a blockchain, uh, just just make sure you're saying that in your paper. You'll be fine. So again, another you know um, another inherent thing here um, uh, is the redundant work. Um, millions of computers compete to verify the same changes to the blockchain, transactions, using the same algorithms, the same instructions, the same code. You know what I mean? So that's um, they're all trying to record the same, database transaction basically, and the each blockchain being stored, um, is a redundant history. So um, it's distributed, but it's not the blockchain is distributed. The processing isn't akin to like the Human Genome Project, where the problem, or a Hadoop cluster where the problem is broken down into multiple clusters and worked on cooperatively in a distributed fashion. This is the opposite of that efficiency. But uh, some people think anonymity is everything. So um, yeah. Anyway, so a lot of these issues, um, and I mean, like I said, there's others. There's an issue with too many miners, too much mining capacity being in the hands of one entity. The things kind of count on nobody having a controlling monopoly. I think they call it a coven or a cohort, or yeah, there's a term for too much power in one person's hands. Um, anyway, yeah, the scalability and performance. Um, the last I read here not too long ago was a Bitcoin transaction to be fully processed and verified um, was a half an hour, and I think we're getting worse, um, and that's uh, you know something along the lines of 0.1% of the population, 1/10 of 1% even use Bitcoin, let alone use it for every purchase. So it can't scale to being something like the credit card system that uses traditional transaction processing, ACID properties, database properties, to verify and roll back and database transactions. Um, yeah, just good old fashioned banking processes are much more scalable than any blockchain approach to verifying these transactions and keeping a log of what's going on. Yeah, and there's other issues where the ledger exposes users to maybe a little bit more information being shared because it's more transparent and distributed. Um, you 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 can potentially see far more about someone's holdings in that particular um, domain. And then just good old fashioned awareness and education of the technology, which could which could apply to me. I mean, I kind of basically know how it works, but there's a whole lot of things I don't know about how it works, and a lot of things I don't trust necessarily about a newfangled technology. So there's awareness and education, and like I said, there's it it could be that Bitcoin's volatility is actually limiting the adoption of blockchain um, in different approaches, or even in different approaches to some sort of exchangeable medium like a currency. Um, because it doesn't necessarily have the greatest reputation among everyone. Um, but yeah, again, these are just examples. There are many more as you go through. Like I said, use practitioner literature, practitioner websites, and blogs and all that to kind of get an idea of what's going on. But always um, always use the academic literature to reinforce your points, not practitioner literature. Okay, so I want to make sure that everybody realizes it's in the syllabus, and I talked about it last week. There's no graded assignment due on the 11th. If you'd like to email me a copy of your paper by the 11th, that's fine. Please don't. It's due finally and on the 18th. And I'll have a lot of them to grade, and they're fairly lengthy papers. So, um, yeah, if you want me to look at a draft or even your outline or your sources, email it to me by next Sunday, the 11th. Not as the paper is coming due. Okay, so I'm sure I'll get questions on. Is there an assignment due this week? We'll see. Um, okay. In conclusion, I'll make one final plea for you to write an outline of that final portfolio paper. Look at the instructions, decompose them, as I have uh, mentioned many times before, into an outline so that your paper has headings. Um, and start with your own blank paper to write your outline. Uh, there are papers available on Course Hero that mimic this assignment. I'd hate for um, I'd hate to see similarity. Um, Knock any of you out as we approach the end of the semester. So write your own paper. Okay. All right, guys. As always, any questions or concerns, um, please email me uh, now. The semester ends in 2.5 weeks, and you've only got one major paper due. So if you have concerns over your grades, you should have emailed me as I post feedback, but email me now if there's something you need me to look at that you think I missed. Um, I don't allow redos, and I don't allow extra credit, so don't ask. But if you have other concerns, if I missed something, um, let me know. Sometimes I will try and I'll hit submit in Blackboard, and it like doesn't post the grade. So uh, hopefully you're keeping track of your grades and making sure everything's current. Okay. Email me if you have questions.